Good morning, dear students in grade 6. Today we are going to talk about unit 4, which talks about function and the structure of the living organism, actually about the green plants. Let's see. First, before we talking about the function, we have to know the structure. Any plant consists of two main parts. The shoot system, which contains leaves and stem, and the root system, which contains only roots and something extend from it called root hairs. As we always know, we have to know something about the photosynthesis process, which is very important for the green plants to make their own food. So they can take carbon dioxide from the air, sunlight from the sun, water and mineral salts from the soil to produce what? To produce the food and the oxygen, which is very important for all living organisms to breathe it during respiration process. Let's talk about the main parts of the green plants, which is responsible for absorption of water and minerals. The first part talks about the root system, which contains 5 layers: epidermis, then the second one cortex, the third one endodermis, number 4 xylem, and phloem, or we can say pith layer. So the water passes from the epidermis, then cortex, then endodermis, xylem, finally until it reaches to the pith and the leaves. What about the function of the root system? It can fix the plant in the soil until not any winds, wherever it's very strong, can remove it from the soil. Number 2, it absorbs water and minerals from the soil. So the function of the roots here to fix the plant and absorb water to reach from the roots to the stem, to the leaves, to the branches, until it reaches to the xylem and phloem. This is for the functions for the first part, which talks about the root system. But what about the root hair? They are very tiny hairs extend from the epidermis, and it has a big vacuole as we see on the board. It has 2 properties help the plant to absorb water. Number 1, its cell membrane has something called selective permeability, which means it passes some types of the salt to pass through it. According to what? According to the plant needs. It doesn't pass all the types of the salts, only the types that the plant needs. This is number 1. What about number 2? It has a higher concentration in its vacuole, higher than the soil. It means that it passes from the high concentration to the lower concentration, which means has a big amount of water and a small amount of salt if it has a higher concentration of water. But what is the meaning of higher concentration of salt? It means it has a huge amount of salt and a small amount of water. In many cases, we can say that any salt or any liquid can pass from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. This is for the function for the root hair. Finally, we will talk about stomata. What is the meaning of stomata? As we see, they are very tiny holes spread on the surface of the green plant. They help the plant to get rid of excess water. By changing their shapes, one of them is open to get rid of the water and one of them is closed when it finished. So, by changing their shapes and surrounded by something called 2 guard cells, they control closing and opening of the cells to get rid of them. So today we talked about what? We talked about the structure of the plants, which consists of root system and shoot system. Then we talked about the functions of each organ to help them to make the photosynthesis process and make sure that the mineral salt reaches to all the plant parts. Finally, we talked about the stomata, which help the plant to get rid of them. Thank you for your listening, and we wish you a good day.